So I don't like to put a lot of pressure on myself as I've gotten older when I just go into races with a clear mind, go out there, do your best, have fun. That's kind of how I approach each race. Um, I've struggled these past 5 or so years, so I'm just kind of like grateful to be out there, and so it's just a totally different perspective towards the sport every time I get to race because of some health challenges and injuries in the past. So when I step out there, I'm like, okay, this is an amazing opportunity and let's just do my best. And so I knew Sabrina and I were fit. Coach knew we were fit. Um, Sometimes I think when you try to force times, they don't actually come. So I knew if I just, set up a fast race, deep down inside, I knew something good was going to happen. I did not think it was going to be that fast. Coach told, Sabrina and I, set it up. He didn't care which one of us took the lead. I'm a bit older than Sab, so I think deep down inside, I I was like, I'm gonna take it. I've had a little bit more experience leading, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna take this for us, and let's just do it. I didn't know what it was, but deep down, I knew it was gonna be something special if we just kind of worked together. And yeah, I don't think Sab was shocked at her time, but I was shocked at mine. Knew she was fit. Um, I wasn't quite sure where I was, and so it was awesome to see that time come up on the clock. Says kind of like a weight lifted off of our shoulders. We have the Olympic qualifying standard. Um, and so now, like, we're headed to Nashville and gonna race this Sunday. Um, but now it's just about winning. We don't have to chase the fast time. It's like, okay, let's try it. Let's just compete to win. Um, and that's what the trials are about. It's like who the trials shows, like, who are the competitors, like who can last these rounds and compete and get top three. And so Nashville will be exciting to see just our competitive natures come out and our instincts and where are we going to be in the pack and when are we going to kick. It's just practice for the trials. And so I love that we don't have to um, have that subconscious pressure of getting that Olympic qualifying standard. So I think if you were to ask Coach Rowe and Sabrina, they would have told you, like, they were going for the Olympic qualifying time. For me personally, I wasn't quite sure if I was there yet. And so I didn't really put that pressure on myself that I needed to get it there. But I think those two behind the scenes, I think that's what they were going for. So they wanted it. Of course, I wanted it. I just wasn't quite sure where I was yet. So I'm glad that both of us were able to get that together because we train so hard together every single day. So it was nice to achieve that together. So I think so. I joined OTC in 2019. And so right before what was supposed to be the 2020 Olympics. And so I was probably one of the few athletes that when things got postponed, deep down I was like, okay, I have another year to get used to this training, like, because it's different, it's tough, and so sometimes it takes a while for your body to adjust to a new training program. So I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of a good thing for me, that I get this extra year under Coach Rowe. So we were also one of the few groups that got to compete last year. With They put on some meets for us in Oregon, the big friendlies. So I was actually able to see how the training was working for me, and we were able to make the adjustments for this season. So coming into I guess the 2021 season, I was pretty pumped. I was having probably my best fall training ever. I hate fall training. I hate it with a passion. But I just knew that something special was going to happen this year if I could stay healthy. But in November of 2020 during fall training, I actually fractured my foot.
Mm.
And so that was definitely the pit. That was the my third time fracturing that bone. Um, and I was very, very close to just being done. I remember talking to coach like it may be time to retire. Like the doctors were saying that I should get surgery. And I was just like, the trials are not, they're about 7 months away. Like I just don't have time for that. And so that was definitely, that was hard. That was a pit. So when coach said no, like you're not retiring, we're gonna do this. It was definitely a struggle these past few months to get back to to where I needed to be. Sabrina kicking my butt every day in practice as I try to just get back. It was a very humbling experience. High was definitely Portland Track Festival when I shocked the heck out of myself. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to cry because, like I said, the past few months have been just grueling, just a lot of just worry and fear and doubt that I wasn't gonna get back in time. And athletes don't talk about injuries enough. Like it's hard, especially like physically, it's hard, but then the mental battles that we go through when we're trying to come back. It was a tough few months. So that was just kind of like, oh, thank God I didn't retire.
Oh my God, just
Yeah.
lighting the world on fire right
Yeah.
now. It's like,
Yeah.
gotta feel so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um, that's really, really cool. I
yeah,
love
thank
that
you.
so much.
Thank you.
I was thinking about this because I remember when we were recruiting Sabrina, she'd run a 203 in high school and it was so fast. But you ran a 201 in high
Yeah.
school.
Hmm.
And was that and is that the second fastest time ever run by a high schooler?
Um, it was some years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
Now,
know what it is now.
now these high school girls are rolling, so I don't even know if it makes top 10 anymore.
But it was a huge, huge deal, and it's still like a crazy time.
Yes.
My question for you is just having such a superstar high school career and then having such a super career still now, even despite some setbacks. What advice would you give a young high schooler who's a star, who is looking at, just start out their career and have a long career?
Yeah, it's awesome. I would think my best advice would just be just try to remember that you're more than an athlete. This is what you do, it's not who you are. So try not to have your whole identity wrapped up in your performance and the outcome of your races. Um, you're so much more than this sport. And so try to have a healthy relationship with it. Um, don't let it define you. Don't let your worth come from it, because that's what I struggled with after being such a superstar in high school. Um, I became so obsessed with winning, and it was just my everything, and it just wasn't a healthy relationship. And now that I do have that healthy relationship with the sport, it's fun again. So keep it fun, whatever it is for you that allows it to be fun and gives you that joy when you run. Don't lose that. For me, that's my faith. Whatever it is for you, just cling to that, and don't let the outside voices put so much pressure on you. Just remember that this is, like I said earlier, this is what we do. It's not who we are. So all throughout college I struggled with that. I compare it to like running with like 100-pound backpack on my back. It just felt so heavy and so much pressure that I put on myself. So college was definitely a struggle. And then once I graduated college and didn't get a contract, because I think shoe companies saw like I hadn't really progressed much since high school. And so they probably thought like, oh, she's burnt out or she's washed up. You know, that was probably the purpose. And I get it because like I entered with 201 and I left college with 201. So there was not much progress. So when um, I was trying to earn a contract, um, I got to a point where I just got so low, like just like suicidal thoughts. And I'm like, okay, the sport is important, but it shouldn't get to the point where you're thinking about, taking your life, and that's when I knew like this is not a healthy relationship with this sport. I have to figure out who Chanel is outside of a runner. And that's when my faith journey began. And that was very freeing for me. Um, and so that's when that was the pivotal moment when I knew like, okay, I need to reach out for help and just figure out how to have a healthy relationship with sport. And something that is very dear to my heart for these young athletes to and all athletes to realize that there's a fine balance between loving something and wanting something badly and letting something define you and being obsessed with it, and we have to find that fine line. I think for me I resonate with the um the high school superstars, and um it breaks my heart when we don't hear about them anymore, or we hear about just the struggles that made them walk away from the sport. And it's just like, oh, we have to find a way to support to support those young athletes. I don't know what exactly that looks like. It's something that I'm thinking about once I retire, to really figure out a way to make sure these athletes are being cared about, off the track, and that mental side and finding that healthy balance. And um, so we get so excited when they run fast, but then we have to figure out how to really help them find that balance. So that's one area where my passion lies, and that where I want to give back.